A naked man tries to kidnap a 7-year-old little girl in broad daylight at one of Portland's busiest parks. Parents are screaming, bystanders are forced to intervene, 911 is flooded with calls, and the police response is delayed. Now, politicians will tell you this is a staffing problem. Activists will tell you it's a funding problem. The reality? It's something much worse. This is what happens when you spend years making decisions that weaken public safety, one policy, one budget, and one staffing decision at a time. Eventually, the bill comes due, and innocent people are the ones who pay for it.
From Seattle to Los Angeles, this is Left Coast News. No apologies, just the truth.
Every time something like this happens, the public reacts the same way. Where were the police? It's a fair question. But after spending years in law enforcement and emergency communications, I'll tell you something most people never hear. Police don't magically appear because someone dials 911. They have to actually exist. They have to be available, and they can't be handling 3 other priority calls at the exact same time. When there are no units left, dispatch can't invent officers out of thin air. That's not politics, that's math. Let's talk about the math. You'll hear Portland has around 808 sworn officers. Sounds like a decent-sized police department, except that's not who is responding to your emergency. Those 808 include detectives, command staff, specialty units, training personnel, administrative assignments, and officers who aren't immediately available for patrol. When you strip all that away, you have roughly 313 officers assigned to patrol. Now divide them among multiple shifts, account for vacations, training, court appearances, sick leave, days off, and probationary officers who can't yet work independently. What you're left with is something most Portland residents would probably find shocking. Only about 56 patrol officers are actively covering the entire city at any given time. Think about that. A city of over 640,000 people, thousands of calls every single day, and roughly 56 officers trying to keep up. That's not a criticism of those officers, it's a criticism of the system that put them there. This is why response times keep growing. When one major incident happens, multiple units respond, supervisors respond, traffic gets shut down, witnesses have to be interviewed, evidence has to be collected. Suddenly, entire sectors of the city have nobody left. That's how someone somewhere else ends up waiting 20, 30, even 40 minutes for help. People think officers are sitting around waiting for calls. Trust me, that isn't reality. Most shifts are running from call to call to call without ever getting caught up. Portland is an outlier. The national average for major cities sits around 2.4 officers per 1,000 residents. Denver is around 2.3, Seattle sits around 1.45, Portland, just 1.26. To simply reach the national average, Portland would need more than 700 additional sworn officers. That isn't happening anytime soon. So unless something changes dramatically, those response times aren't getting better, they're probably getting worse. The part nobody talks about. Then came the budget. City Hall proudly announced no sworn officers were laid off. Technically, that's true, but it's also incomplete because they cut the people who kept officers on the street, public safety support specialists, civilian staff, administrative personnel, fleet support, technology support. Here's what that means in the real world. Instead of an unarmed civilian handling a property report, a patrol officer now spends the time doing paperwork. Instead of driving neighborhoods looking for stolen cars, they're buried behind a computer. Instead of preventing crime, they're documenting crime that already happened. That's a terrible return on investment for taxpayers. The bottom line, this isn't about attacking individual officers. It isn't about blaming dispatchers. It isn't even about one mayor. This is the predictable result of years of decisions that reduced staffing, increased workload, shifted priorities, and convinced the public that somehow less capacity would produce better outcomes. It doesn't. It never has. Public safety isn't built on slogans. It isn't built on press conferences. It's built on having enough trained people available when citizens dial 911 on the worst day of their lives. Because when your child is in danger, when someone is breaking into your home, when someone's trying to kidnap a little girl in a public park, nobody cares what the budget press release said. They care whether help is coming. And right now, the numbers tell a story that's getting harder and harder to ignore. If you made it this far, you're exactly the kind of person we built this channel for. Left Coast News exists to cut through the noise and bring you straightforward analysis of the stories shaping Washington, the Pacific Northwest, and beyond. If you found this video valuable, please subscribe and follow us wherever you get your content, including YouTube, Rumble, Brighteon, BitChute, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you'd like to help support independent journalism, you can also join us on Patreon. Patreon is free for now. You'll find the link in the description below. And if you think this story matters, share it with your friends and family. That's one of the biggest ways you can help this channel grow. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you agree with this analysis, or do you see it differently? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching Left Coast News.